early 90s, Sega was one of the most successful companies out there, with their incredible console, the Sega Genesis, and their mascot, Sonic the Hedgehog, who, to this day, is still popular. But back in the mid to late 90s, Sega started losing it. They tried to extend the Genesis with making pointless add-ons like the 32X and Sega CD, and then finally, in 1995, they released what I think truly put them in the grave. That is, of course, the Sega Saturn. What was the problem with this console, though? Well, there was no Sonic game on launch. There wasn't even really a Sonic game at all. There, of course, was the infamous Sonic Extreme, which never came out, along with games like Sonic Jam and what we are reviewing today, Sonic, You know what, just cue the intro already. I'm not gonna have fun with this. I don't have my Sega Saturn to play on, as after I played this game a while back to test it, I threw it into space and it landed on Saturn. Anyway, I have an Uber emulator with an incredible controller that should be able to emulate this game and everything about it. So, without further ado, let's get out the invisible emulator controller that I am clearly holding right now and play! Yeah! Before we actually start playing the game, I have to hand it to Sega. They not only pulled out excellent characters like Amy, Sonic, not really surprised by them, but they also created really cool characters like Metal Knuckles, Egg Robo, and that. When you actually get to start playing the game, you'll notice it's very clunky. The controls are an absolute mess, and you really get confused. This is worse than Batman and Robin from the 3rd episode of movie tie-in games. Yeah, I just said that, I know. Plus, you could probably finish this whole game in about 20 to 30 minutes. There's only 5 courses in total, and with only 9 or 10 characters, you could literally unlock them all very quickly if you just rush through the stages. You don't even actually have to get first place to unlock anybody, you just have to beat the course. That is, if you can beat the course. You'll often probably fall off the map like Sonic 06 or get stuck in a wall. This is especially apparent with characters such as Egg Robo, who are so huge that within a few seconds you'll get stuck in a wall and get last place because you cannot control him. Now I think it's time to discuss that. This is Tails Doll, the spawn of really creepy Sonic fan art across the Sonic subreddit. I rarely go on it anymore because all it is really creepy. It's like worse than Sonic EXE. Yeah, you heard that. Anything is scarier than Sonic EXE. That is a terrible creepypasta, but you get my point. Basically, as the name implies, it's a doll of Tails. Why they didn't choose somebody like Sonic or Amy or Knuckles, I don't know. They just decided to choose Tails because I guess when they were going through doll versions of every single character, they just wanted the creepiest, you know, to appeal to an adult audience. This isn't the best way to appeal to an adult audience, you know? You could have put this in like a creepy horror game, not in a fun family Sonic racing game. Tails, though, controls like a mess. He's even worse than any of the other characters. He goes about, and every time I try to play with him, I get last place no matter how fast I go. I'm not surprised, though. Nobody can outrun Sonic. He's faster than the speed of sound. Speaking of falling through the world in absolute messes, I think I finally figured out why all the characters just abruptly leave the game. They're so tired of it that they just don't want to be a part of it. So they jump out and just go kill themselves. So basically, long story short, Sega knew this was bad. They could have had many more characters. For some reason, they decided to shove in weird characters that they made up, like Egg Robo, Metal Knuckles, and Thing. But they could have replaced that with other characters that are far better. And I mean far better. There are so many other characters in the Sonic universe. All in all, I'm going to rate this game a Super Nintendo cartridge of Mortal Kombat out of 10. It's an absolute mess, and I do not recommend it. Find another Sonic game. We're here, I think.
No, you're not. How are you gonna get there?
That's the thing. We gotta make it. I have a feeling this is the only location the DVD could possibly be.
How are we gonna get them?
We're gonna have to take another 10 wrong turns. And I'm prepared.